शिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्य मध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्य पर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतो वन्दे गुरुवन्तो पुनः पुनः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमव्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः नारायणं पद्मनाभं वसिष्ठं शक्तिं च तत्पुत्रपराशरं च व्यासंशितं गौडपदं महन्तं गोविन्दयोगीन्द्रमथास्य शिष्यं श्रीशङ्कराचार्यमथास्य पद्मपादं च हस्तामलकं च शिष्यं तन्तोटकं वार्तिककारमन्यानस्मद्गुरुन् सन्ततमानतोऽस्मि साक्षात् सच्चिदानन्दं प्रत्यगद्वयमक्रियं तं नमामि शेषयोगं गम्यं परं पदं कानिलाग्निं सर्पणिवृत्तितः ठान्तच्छिदिनमस्तस्मै हरये बुद्धिसाक्षिणो श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः स्मरण So 117th verse, we spent a long time on one single verse here, 116, which said what? Aham mithyavishaapena dukhyatma tad bubutsaya itashrutim taya niti ityukta kaivalyamastitah. Due to mithyavishapa, adhyaropa, adhyasa, atma is dukhi. And through inquiry, one approach the Shruti and Taya Neti. The Neti Prakriya, through that, this person, Sadhaka, is Kaivalya, is Astita in Kaivalya. Kaivalyam Astita, he becomes established, has Nishtha in Kaivalya, Shuddha Atma Avastha, Brahmatma Avastha. This is the 116th verse we had seen. And 117th introduction says, Tarihi श्रुत्याचार्यादि प्रपंचस्य वास्तवत्वम् अभ्युपेयम् मिथ्यात्वे भाष्पधूमादिवत् प्रमाद जनकत्व अनुपपत्तेः आत्मनश्च अहंकाराद्य अध्यारोपे तन्निवृत्तौ च सविशेषत्वात् निर्विशेषत्व अभ्युपगम हानिः इति आशंक्याः. So long sentence with lot of ideas. Shruti, Acharya, Adi are part of Prapancha. Shruti is also part of Prapancha. Acharya is also part of Prapancha. Adi Padena, Ghatapatadi, Buddhyadi that you have been claiming. But Purvapakshi says you have been focusing on Adi, Buddhi, Adi. But what about Acharya and Shruti? They are also part of Prapancha. And if they are mithya, this question has been dealt with, but we are at the end of the second chapter summarizing there. Even now, if you have questions, that is the idea. So even after all this, if you still have questions, let us remind you. This is what Siddhanti's approach is. So Shruti, Acharya, if they are mithya, it won't work. So Vastavam Abhyupeyam. You should accept that Shruti and Acharya are Vastava. Once you accept those two as Vastava, real, then slowly the Purvapakshi will push in the others, Adi Padena. Even if you say that, okay, only Shruti and Acharya are real, then anyway you accepted Dvaita. Whether you accept one second entity or 100 other entities, it's Dvaita, plurality. So, Purvapakshi says, Tarhi Shruti Acharya Adi Prapanchasya Vastavam Abhyupeyam, it should be accepted. Why? Otherwise, they'll become mithya. And Shruti Acharya Ityadi, if they become mithya, mithyatve sati, bhashpadumadivat pramajanakatva anupapattehe. They cannot be cause for prama utpatti. They cannot lead to prama utpatti. Why? They'll become just like bhashpa or dhuma. In the example of what? Parvato Vanniman. Why? Dhumavatvat. So there is no dhuma, there is bhashpa. If you look at bhashpa which appears like dhuma, Bhashpa is mist. So, Mr. Some foggy thing appears like smoke to you and you infer fire. Bhashpa comes up because there is cold and you will have used the mist or fog, mistaking it for what? As dhuma. That is mithya, mithya. And that would have led to your wrong conclusion of Vanni, that there is fire. Similarly, taking Shruti and Acharya, who are mithya, taking their words as real, you will land in wrong conclusions of Advaita. That's the idea. What will you land yourself? Shruti is telling you, there is no second. Acharya is telling you there is no second entity, Tattvamasi Ityadi. Just like Bhashpa is telling you there is fire with Linga, Anumana. But there is no fire. Similarly, there won't be any Tattva that you have landed on. It would be Aprama, Brahma. There is a Brahma of Vanni using Bhashpa as Dhuma. Similarly, there will be Brahma of Advitiya Tattva taking Shruti and Acharya as real if they are Mithya. So, Pramajanakatva Anubhavatte. Therefore, you have to accept Shruti and Acharya are real. In which case, you will have landed on Dvaita. So, Ubhaya Pasharajju. If you accept Shruti and Acharya as real, then your conclusion of Advaita is wrong because Shruti and Acharya are other than you. So, it's Dvaita. If you accept them as Mithya and continue, then anyway they will not lead to Prama. So, if they teach you Advitiyatva, that Advaita is also Mithya only. So, both ways you are in a fix, says the Purvapakshi. And Atmanaha cha ahankaradi adhyarope tannivruttau cha savisheshatvat. And you say, if Atma has ahankaradi as adhyaropa. Ahankara is what now? It is adhyaropa. You have said that ahankara is adhyaropa. Deha is adhyaropa. Adhyastha on Atma. So Atma has ahankara, which is adhyaropa. If that is the case, then you'll have adhyaropa and you'll have nivrutti. Apavada. Here, apavada word has been used earlier in a different sense. So we'll say adhyaropa and nivrutti only. Adhyaropa of ahankaradi and nivrutti of ahankaradi will mean what? Savishesha. Atma is now taking ahankara as adhyaropa and nivrutti of ahankaradi. Thereby you will have savishesha. Atma will become what? Savishesha. Atmanascha savisheshatvat. So Anvaya is what? Ahankare radi adhyarope tannivruttau cha atmanaha savisheshatvat. Atma is savishesha now, not nirvishesha, nirguna brahma. You say nirguna atma brahma, but now you are having savishesha. Therefore, nirvisheshatva abhyupagamahani. Your siddhanta which says atma is nirvishesha, nirguna, that acceptance will go for a toss. That darshana part will go for a toss. Iti ashankyaha. Thereby, Siddhanti in the Sambandhokti says, Tasya asyeti. Tasya asya mumukshoho. Shrautad vachasaha swapna nimitta utsarita nidrasya iva. Iyam nishchitartha prama jayate. Siddhanti just gives an example of swapna. What kind of swapna? That which will wake you up to reality. Swapna is mithya, but does it give you real results? Yes. Many examples are there. So, common one is what? Dream lion. So, you're in a dream, running in the forest, very much afflicted. Running in samsara, forest in a sense, samsara. And a lion is chasing you, wakes you up. So lion is mithya. Samsara is mithya, the forest is mithya. You are in Swapna. The mithya lion wakes you up to which world? Not the dream world, waking world, which is real. In comparison to the dream world, waking world is real, right? Ask the Siddhanti to the Purva Pakshi. Forget what we have in our darshana, Swapnavat Mithya and all that. We are just asking you, Mithya cannot, if Mithya cannot give Prama, if Mithya sadhana, Shruti and Acharya cannot give rise to Prama, then how is it that the dream lion wakes you up, scares you, wakes you up, you are still sweating, and you wake up with fear in the waking world? So Purvapakshi has to agree that Swapna Nimitta Utsarita Nidrasyaiva, like one who is woken up from the Nidra. Due to what? Due to Swapna Nimitta. So Swapna Nimitta can be lion in the dream. That becomes the Nimitta for the person's sleep to go away. Nidra dosha. What is Nidra dosha? Nidra dosha is, in exemplified, is avidya dosha. So Shrautad Vachasa, Shruti, let the Shruti be Swapna, like Swapna Mithya. We don't have any compulsion to say Shruti and Acharya are Satya. We don't accept Shruti and Acharya Satya in Siddhanta. So let them be Swapna only, Swapna lion, Swapna Simha. But Tasya Asya Mukshu, this Mukshu that you talk about, who will not have Prama Utpatti due to these Mithya, Shruti and Acharya, is not true. Because just like this Mumukshu in dream faces a lion and wakes up in the real waking world, similarly, the Mumukshu who is in the Samsara Swapna faces the Shruti and Acharya like the Swapna lion, and then they wake him up to which world now? To the waking world, real waking, in a sense, Brahma Tattva, Atma Tattva. Therefore, Iyam Nishchitartha Prama Jayate. Not only does the dream lion wake you up, but then with very little delay of that scare continuing, you don't see a lion, you don't see the forest, you wake up in your bed, in your room, and then you are relieved, happy. There is no lion. Was there a lion? No, there was never a lion. Was there? So Acharya was also not there. Shruti was also not there. Was there the forest, samsara, dukkha? No, never was it there. So that is the example. The prama is nishchitartha. Very much convincing. Such kind of conviction will it give you that it will never go away. Therefore, nishchitartha prama jayate. With conviction, you will say, there was never a lion, nor was I ever running in the forest afflicted. I was always free. I was always in this bed. So similarly, I was always free is the state of the jnani. Never baddha. Never was there even a lesha of sukha. Gandhopi nasti dukkhasya. Nasti, now, nastisma was never there. Bhutakala. Na bhavishyati. Can never be there. That is the Nishchitartha Prama. Thereby the Siddhanti gives the 117th verse, which says, Naham nacha pramatmatvat sarvada natmavarjitah bhana viva tamodhyasah apannavascha tathamai. So bhano viva tamodhyasopannavascha tathamai. Na aham na cha mama atmatvat sarvada anatma varjitah, single word. Bhanau iva tamah adhyasah apannavah cha tatha mai. You have to do adhyara. What does the first number tippana say? Let's look at the Vyakhya, because without the Vyakhya, difficult to make Anvaya with the words as they exist. We have to do some Adhyara. Asya Chandrikayam Vyakhya Bhanau Tama Adhyasa Iva. So here actually Tamo Adhyasa is single word, okay? I said Tamo and Tamaha and Adhyasa. Tamo Adhyasa is single word. Tamasa Adhyasa, Tamo Adhyasa. Bhanau Tamasa Adhyasa Iva. So Tamo Adhyasa Iva Ahankaradaya Pratyagatmani Adhyastha Eva. Adhyasthaha Eva. Natu Paramarthata Santi. So the example is given. Bhanu Tamasa Adhyasa. The sun is bright, you can't even look at the sun with naked eyes. And if someone says that the sun is dark, then it is an adhyasa. Now someone may ask, why use such an example? Nobody will ever think that the sun is dark. Then why tamas adhyasa as an example? Here the example is of the owl, ullu. So the owl sees during night and does not see during the day. Why? Because during the daytime, to the owl it is said that the sun appears to be dark. Just like, we can't see in the dark, the owl cannot see in the day. So it must be dark for the owl. That is a tamas adhyasa, tamo adhyasa. Similarly is the case of jiva. Ahankaradaya pratyagat atmani adhyastha eva. So ahankara is also adhyastha. Tamas is adhyastha on Bhanu, on the Surya. Similarly, on pratyagatma, ahankaradi, tamas and tamakarya, like avidya and avidya karya, they are adhyastha eva. They are also superimposed on prakasha rupa atma. One does not see oneself as mukta atma. Chaitanya rupa, ananda rupa, chid rupa, ekameva advitya rupa, nitya mukta atma. Why? Because of tamas and tamas karya, meaning ajnana and ajnana karya adhyasa. Natu paramarthata santi. Ahankaradi are not there in atma in reality. Paramarthata. Tasya chaitanya matra swarupatvat. Tasya atmana. That atma, pratyagatma is chaitanya matra. One cannot say that there is ahankara which is jada and I am that jada ahankara. Ahankara, when it is superimposed on pratyagatma with tadatmya sambandha, then chaitanya matra swarupa is lost. One will consider oneself as jada ahankara. Ahankara comes to like anyonya adhyasa really. Ahankara appears to be living, meaning I, the individual, is living on. That is the Bhranti. Whereas I am also going to die someday. That I is Chaitanya. The Chaitanya cannot die. Sadrupa Atma. So this is the Anyonya Adhyasa. So Siddhanti says, Tasya Chaitanya Matra Rupa Swarupatva Tataha Tannivrittu Nirvishesha Atma Iti Mumuksho Pramajayate. So what you are talking about as Savishesha, when we say Adhyastha, it is Mithya. How much ever Mithya you add on, you will not have an increase in number, you will not have Vishesha. Visheshana is all unreal there. You will not have Savisheshatvam at all. Savisheshatvam is Mithya, Bhranti. What is real is Nirvishesha, and when you take away the Savishesha, the Vishesha on the Atma which makes the Atma Savishesha, so you take away Savisheshatvam. How? By taking away Mithya Vishesha from Atma, what remains is Nirvishesha. Not only what remains is Nirvishesha, even with the Mithya Visheshas, Atma was not Savishesha. Atma was Nirvishesha only. Nirvishesha Atma appears to be Savishesha doesn't make it Savishesha. Appearance does not make it so. Rajju appears as Sarpa does not appear, that appearance does not make Rajju real Sarpa. The real Rajju will remain real Rajju. Sarpa will not make the Rajju Savishesha. It will be Nirvishesha Rajju only. Meaning, if the Rajjutvam is said to be Nirvishesha, Rajjutvam is there, then it will Rajjutvam with additional something is not the case. There is no Sasarpatvam for Rajju. Rajju is not Sasarpa Rajju. Rajju is Nisarpa only. Even when Sarpa is there. Similarly, Atma will never become Savishesha when Visheshas are all Mithya. If I have one house and I think that I have multiple houses, just by painting the house different, if I think, oh, I got another Vishesha, I got another house, or painting 4 walls of the house differently, you look and imagine it's a it's not a artistic house, it's just a 4 walls. All walls appear same, they are of the same width and height. From different sides, if I paint it differently, will it make it a different house? It will be the same house. There is no increase in number. Similarly, Advaita, Ekameva Dvitiya Atma, how much ever you add, keep on adding, will remain one. So, Mumuksho Prama Avashyam Bhavi, Avashyam Jayate. Ahankaradi, Prama would be Strilinga, Avashyam Bhavini. Ahankaradihi Yathatmani Adyastha Tatha Tadapannava Api Tasmin Adyastha Eva. So, Chandrika says, another tika is Ahankaradi Yathatmani Yatha Atmani Adyastha Tatha Tadapannava Api Tasmin Adyastha Eva. So, this is interesting. What you have seen? Atma has become Savishesha, then it will become Nirvishesha. Adhyaropa is also Mithya. What about Apavada? What about Nirakarana? Nirakarana is also Mithya. You have seen the example. You have given the example. There is a cow in the ashram. Shishya says, I cannot find the rope to tie the cow at night. What if she wanders away around the jungle? So Guru says, you tie her anyway. Shishya is saying, I don't have a rope. Can't find the rope. I don't know where the rope is. And therefore I can't tie. Says, you act it out. You act as if you are tying the cow. You put the rope around its neck. Although you don't have a rope, as if you have a rope, and then tie her to the post. She'll remain there, says the Guru. So Shishya thinks, what is this? This won't work. Anyway, he acts it out. And the cow thinks that she is tied to the post. Next day morning, she's still there. So he wants to let her out for grazing. She is unwilling to go. Tries to push her, she doesn't go. Tells the Guru, the trick worked. At night, the cow was still around the post as if she is tied. But she is not leaving the place, not even going out to graze. So the Guru says, have you untied her? Says, what do you mean untied her? I have never tied her. There was no rope. Says, but you acted out. So the way you tied her in a mithya manner, you have to let her go in a mithya manner. So untie her. Act it out. He does that and then she goes away, grazing. So this is the mithya. If the adhyaropa is mithya, apavada, will the apavada be real? It won't be real, but will it be needed? Yes. Nivrutti of visheshas which are mithya are needed to understand the nirvishesha atma. In fact, this example may appear like a joke, but I've seen a video where somebody had sent this video. Somewhere I sent a link or something. There's this girl who's pulling her horse. So that horse is unwilling to come. So she, just, puts her hand around that horse's neck, and then as if tied, and then she has nothing in her hand, and she just drags him, walks along. The way she pulls him, he walks around. Very nice video to look at it. Very convincing also. So the horse thinks that, it is being pulled. So this mithya adhyasa will need mithya apavada also. Nirakarana. So ahankaradi yatha atmani adhyasta. How yatha? Yatha in sense, the way it is adhyasta, it is mithya. Tatha apannava api tasmin adhyasta eva. So atmani adhyasta, ahankaradi is not real. They are adhyasta. We are tied to the samsara, to this ahankaradi, with a mithya rope. So you have to cut the rope or let the mithya rope go. So what is that apannava nirakarana? Nirakarana is also tasmin atmani adhyasta eva. Moksha is also mithya. Just like bandhana is mithya. You cannot have real moksha when bandhana is mithya. You are already mukta, so vimukta vimuchyate. Mundaka Upanishad. So Upanishad says what? One who is mukta is made free, is freed. One who is freed is freed. So praptasya prapti jnanena, muktasya muktihi jnanena. Adhyastha bandhanat muktihi api adhyastha eva. So this is in this slide of the Tippana or Chandrika Tika, we look at the verse. See, bhano iva, example, bhano iva tamo adhyasaha. Bhano tamo adhyasa iva, like the owl, the superimposition of tamas on bhanu in the case of the owl. So you have to understand that adhyara. So here also what? Tathamayi. Apannavascha. Apannava is also mithya, adhyasa also. So adhyasa apannavascha. The owl superimposes tamas on bhanu and then during the night takes it away. Similarly is the case here. Tathamayi. Mayi kim? Adhyasa kasya. So aham here na, aham ahankara and mamatva. So you can say ahamtva and mamatva is not there in Atma. Atmatvat. Atma, because Atma is Chaitanya Rupa, cannot have ahanta and mamatva. Atmatvat there is nirvisheshatvat Atmana. Atma is nirvishesha, cannot have aham ahankara and cannot have mamatva also. Ahantva and mamatva are both adhyasta. So Atmatvat aham, or you can say aham means I, real I. I is what? I can hear aham can work both ways. Anatma varjita. Aham anatma varjita asmi sarvada. But then you have to do adhyara for what? Atmatvat. Atmatvat nacha mama here. So you have need aham also. So more adhyara here. Because if you look at it from the Sangati as what? Tasya asya mumuksho shrautad vachasa swapna nimitta utsarita nidrasya eva iyam nishchitartha prama jayate. But what? So you have to look at Tika also. In Tika also you don't see anything which goes with na aham nacha mama. So you have to say ahankaradi. You add ahankaradi, which is not there in the in the Sambandhokti or the Tika. You say ahankaradi aham na. Ahankaradi na mama. Nacha mama. Why? Atmatvat. Or you can say mama atmatvat. Rao Shirovat Shashti. So many ways you can understand. The final idea is what? Ahankaradi is not me, not mine. Mithya. So adhyaropa and apavada. Adhyaropita. Mai adhyaropita. एंड अपन्नवश्च तेषाम, और तस्य अहंकारादीनाम और अहंकारादेहे तथा मयि, जस्ट लाइक द एग्जाम्पल. So construct is tricky because there are many ways to do anvaya with lot of adhyara. So ahankara adihi aham na mama na, or you can say aham anatmavarjitah mama atmatvat. So without any adhyara also you can make sense. Aham sarvada anatmavarjitah. What is hetu? Mama swarupata atmatvat, chaitanya rupatvat. So I cannot have anything else. What about adhyaropana apavada of the others, which makes me savishesha? Siddhanti says that's not the case. It's like the adhyas and apannava on Bhanu. Did Bhanu become savishesha with the tamas as vishesha? No, tamas was never there. So tathamai. So without adhyara, this is how we'll do anvaya. With adhyara of the words, addition of the words, there are many ways. I hope it is clear. The meaning is very clear. The constructs may be difficult. Further, 118th verse introduces the 118th verse is introduced by the Tika. So, evam shruti vachanakरण आकरणन मात्र, एवं श्रुति वचन आकरणन मात्र निरस्ये अपि संसारे वैषयिक सुख लवलुब्धचेतस्तया यन्तं कालं प्रमत्तोऽहम् आसमो कष्टमिति. सो प्रमत्तोऽहम् आसमो कष्टमिति विदुषः अनुक्रोशं दर्शयति. अनुक्रोशम. So anukrosha is what? So anukrosham darshayati. Vidushaha. So he says Shruti and Vachana. So not Vachana, Shruti and Vachana. Shruti, Vachana of the Shruti, or Vachana you can take Acharya also. Vachana of Acharya. So Shruti Vachana by Acharya, you can take both meanings here because that was the Akshepa, or Vachana of the Shruti. So now here Akrosha here is Anukrosha, not Akrosha. Anukrosha is regret of the Vidwan. See, when you wake up from the dream, when the dream lion wakes you up, just me one moment, I'm feeling a little uncomfortable. For some reason, my blood pressure is fluctuating a lot. It's going high. So feeling a little difficult to speak easily. So here, evam shruti vachana akaranana matra nirasye api samsare. What kind of samsara is this? This samsara goes away just by shravana. That's the idea. Shruti vachana akarana matra nirasya. Nirasya samsara. So this samsara goes away. By what? Just by listening to the Mahavakya. Shravana is the sakshat karana for mukti. Samsara nivritti. So in the example, when the dreamer wakes up to the waking world, so you can say the waker, now the waker. Who was dreamer earlier? The Hetu was the dream lion. And after waking up, after a bit of dukkha carried over from the dream fear, this fellow thinks, waker, oh, I've been scared for no reason. It was merely a nightmare. So, like the child, who says, I'll not go to sleep. Why? There are some kids, they yell out at night because they see some nightmares day in, day out. So some kids have such prarabdha day in, day out. Why adults also, grown-ups also. So they're scared to go to sleep. Very natural. So if you get those kind of dreams, you're scared to go to sleep. But when you realize that it is a dream, it's not real, over a period of time, then you say there is nothing to be scared of. In the day, at least in the day. Because if the nightmare is of a similar situations, similar area, as kids, you look under the bed, very, very scared to look under what is hiding there or whatever, such ideas. So when you grow up and know with jnana that there is nothing to be scared about, it was all in your mind. Somebody tells you some, horror stories as kids. That time you are playing around, but then at night you are scared. So similar is the case of this Vidwan now. He says, I've been scared for no reason. That is the Anukrosha. I've been scared for no reason of this samsara. There is no samsara. I've never been baddha. Why did I not know earlier? There are some things, you have an allergy to something and never tried. No, I don't want to climb the mountain or whatever. I'm scared of heights or eating something. I don't think I'm going to like the taste. I never tried it. But you try it. You try hiking, taking a hike on the mountains. Oh, I missed so many years. So this is the anukrosha. Vidusha anukrosha. What is it? एवं श्रुति वचन आकर्णन मात्र निरस्यपि संसारे वैषयिक सुख लव लुब्ध चेतस्तया यंतम कालम प्रमत्तोहम असमः कष्टः कष्टमिति सॉरी आई एम सेइंग असम आसम अहो कष्टमिति भ्रांति सो यंतम कालम प्रमत्तो अहम आसम अहम आसम अहम प्रमत्तः आसम भूतकाल अहो कष्टमिति I read a padacheda was wrong there. So asam aho kashtam. Oh, how sad a state is that iyantam kalam, so far, so long, I was pramatta. Pramatta is what? Matta is intoxicated, but here bhrantyarthaka. I was bhranta. So he says, so far, I was, so pramado vai mrityuhu. So there's a pramada is negligence also. I had been negligent. I have been careless. I didn't care for it much. The sadhakas and acharya kept on telling me, you are sukhi, sukha swarupa atma, and I have been careless towards those words and thinking, no, I am dukhi only. I don't think I am sukhi. I am not atma, sukha swarupa atma, ananda swarupa atma. I am dukhi. So aho kashtam. So much of kashta due to this negligence. Thereby, anukrosham, vidwan. So that has been shown here, that vidwan has this kind of an issue. I could have been happy all the while, but then I didn't tap into this swarupa and I tapped into Vishaya Sukha. So the samsare vaisheka sukha lava lubdha chetastaya. Here, this iyantam kala, here the quotation is, I don't think it is appropriate. Iyantam kalam kastamiti vidusha. Ending is not right. Yantam kalam pramottosi. Yeah, so it's a quotation start is okay, ending should be earlier. It's okay. Iti vidusha anukrosham. So before the iti, custom, it should end before the iti. So what was the reason? Vaisheka sukha lava lubdha chetastaya. Even if the samsara could have gone away earlier just by Shravana, I have been negligent in Shravana. And why was that? Because I was lubdha chetaha. Lubdha chetaha. I was influenced by the Vaishayika Sukha Lava. Lava is very little. with a very little sukha, which is seen in the or perceived, felt that it is in the Vishaya, but it is not there. Even for that little sukha that I thought I got from that Vishaya, I indulged. I hankered after the Vishaya Sukha, even a little that I got from that Vishaya, which didn't last, Anitya Sukha, and having lobha, Lubdha Chetasa means having that kind of lobha in the mind, having that kind of a mind. So far, I have been negligent, I have been deluded, and oh, custom, so much of dukkha I faced due to that. Even seeking the little bit of sukha took so much of effort, dukkha. That sukha came in, and before I could rejoice completely, went away, dukkha. After going away, oh, dukkha, so much of kashta. So he says that I could have easily remained myself listening to the Shruti Vachana, and with Shravana I would have been free long, long back. So, new Vidwan, just when, oh, is it really so? I didn't know. Had I known earlier, I would have lost so much of, so much of missed out on the joy. So yeah, this is what FOMO. They say FOMO, what? Fear of missing out. So people have fear of missing out. So in Vishaya Sukha, it is like that. Everybody is enjoying the Vishayas and I have fear of missing out. So I also indulge. But then I realized that there was no Sukha there. Had I stayed with Sravana, had I not been negligent, I would have got it long back. When the others are, there is nothing to miss out in the Vishayas. That's the Vidwan now. There was nothing to miss out. So why FOMO? There was nothing to miss out in the Vishaya because there was never Sukha there. Sukha was all mine. So Anukrosham Darsheti Mumukshunam Prayojanaya. Why? For the benefit of the Mumukshus, Sambandhoktikara says Soyamiti. Soyam evam Pratipanna Swabhavam Atmanam Pratipanna. Anukroshati. So Anukroshati. Who? This Vidwan. What kind of Vidwan is this now? Pratipanna. So therefore Vidwan, who understands now? Pratipanna, he understands. What does he understand? Atma. Atmanam Pratipanna. What kind of Atma? He says, Saha ayam evam Pratipanna. Evam. So Saha ayam is separate. But evam Pratipanna Swabhavam Atmanam. That is a Samastapada. That Atma which has the Swabhava of revealing itself in this manner only. Evam Pratipanna Swabhavam. But Pratipanna is difficult to understand. Evam Pratipanna Swabhavam Atmanam. This Atma, which is to be comprehended only in that manner. Evam Pratipanna Swabhavam. The Swarupa is such that you have to understand it as Satchidananda, Ananta Atma, Ananda Rupa Atma. Only then you are Pratipanna, one who has understood. Vidwan. Not any understanding any which way, not the Atma as revealed by some Smriti or some Purana or some, somebody who are self-made gurus. So self-made gurus. So they'll title them as gurus. So anyway, I'll not go into controversial namings now, but there are many who call themselves as guru without any sampradaya. Oh, our guru, sitting in a forest, whatever, or going around on motorcycle with a hippie culture, mukta, suddenly out of nowhere, mukta. And now, world famous guru. So anyway, that's sufficient hint. Soyam evam pratipanna swabhavam atmanam pratipanna anukroshati. How? 118 verse. Yatra tvasyeti satopam kritsnadvaita nishedinim प्रोत्सारयन्तीं संसारम अप्यश्रोषम नकिं श्रुतिम. Always make a mistake. So yatra tu asya iti. So Ishavasya mantra. यत्र त्वस्य बृहत् आत्मैवाभूत् तत्केन कं पश्येत् इत्यादि बृहत् मंत्र. सो यत्र तु अस्य इति साटोपम कृत्स्न अद्वैत निषेधिनी सिंगल वर्ड प्रोत्सारयन्ती संसारम अपि अश्रौषम न किम श्रुतिम. So Satopam here is adverbial. So Satopam means assertive, in a very assertive manner. So what is the Shruti? Yatra tvasya sarvam atmaiva bhut. Everything became Atma. Yatra in the sense, yasyam avasthayam, in which mukta avastha, so to say avastha. Avastha iva avastha. Where everything became one Atma, I. Tasya or tasya ko moha ka shoka. In Ishavasya. So Satopam Krishna, what is that? Kim Shrutim Na Shrosham. What is this? Who is saying this? Atmanam is this Evam Pratipanna Swabhavam Atmanam Pratipanna Vidwan. That Vidwan Aham Shrutim Na Shrosham Kim. Had I not heard this Shruti earlier? Yatra Tvasya, what is that? Everything became one Atma. Have I not heard it earlier? Had I not heard it? I had heard so many times, but I had been negligent. So this second chapter opened up with the question of the Purva Pakshi. You have heard so many, very beautifully summed up. It opened up with this question. This chapter is for Tvampada Shodhana. Why is it that you have heard this Shruti so many times? We have all heard, but we are not Mukta. Ask the Purva Pakshi. We see so many, people doing Shravana of Mahavakya also. But are they Mukta? They are not Mukta. Why? If Jnanena Moksha is true, not Karmana, not Upasanena, Upasanaya, why is it that those who do Shravana are not Mukta? Not Mukta Purushas. Why? Siddhanti says, because Tvam is misunderstood. Therefore, Tattvamasi Mahavakya cannot be understood. If it is not understood, Jnana cannot take place, which cannot lead to Ajnana Nasha and thereby lack of moksha. It cannot lead to mukti. This is the case. So, Tvampada Shodhanartham Dvitiyo Adhyaya. Esha. In this summing up at the end, Siddhanti says, the Vidwan also thinks the same thing when he understands. So many times I have heard how easy it is. Why did I not understand? I have been negligent. And negligent means what? Pramada. Therefore, pramado vai mrityu, says the Shruti itself. Mrityu, samsara karana. Dharma also, Dharma Grantha says that pramada, walking on a straight path, is not that easy. Walking on the path of dharma, you have to be very much alert. Even a little bit of slip, you are in the samsara sagara. It's like a bridge you are crossing using dharma. Then unto jnana, chitta shuddhi dwara, then jnana. So pramadavai mrityu only. As Panchadashikar Bhagavan says, so many is thing in the uh, in the waters, afflicted waters, the troubled waters. So there are so many creatures who are there in the Bhavasagara waiting to gobble you up, and they have gobbled us up. So to gobble them up, you need a bigger gobbler, who is the Graha in the form of the Guru. So there the Mangalacharana is the Guru himself is the Graha in Panchadashi. So here, had I not heard this Shruti, this is the Shruti, and what kind of Shruti is it? Krishna Advaita Nishid Krishna Dvaita Nishedini. What is Advaita Nishedini? What is the Krishna? Kritsnad will work. Dvaita, Krishna, Dvaita, no. Advaita. Let me see if there is any error there. Looks like an error to me. Krishna, there should not be Advaita. So let me chant this again. Yatra tvasyeti satopam Krishna Dvaita nishedinim Krishna Dvaita nishedinim protsarayantim samsaram apyashrosham nakim shrutim. Just give me a moment. Satopam Krishna Nished, because Dvaita nishedinim, Advaita nishedinim won't work. Krishna, any other patha I can find? What other book do I have? Naishkarmyasiddhi. Does anyone have any other printed book there with you? Just please look up this verse, 118. I'm unable to find any. My books are, when I shifted, my books have been left elsewhere. I don't have anything to access here. 2.118.
इन दिस इसका हिंदी में तो द्वैत पूरे द्वैत प्रपंच का निषेध करने वाले
हाँ, हिंदी में ओके. I have not seen India. It should be.
इसके नीचे वाला हिंदी है उसमें.
Yeah, Dvaita Prapancha. It has to be Dvaita Prapancha. Yeah. So it's a typo. It's a typo. It cannot be Akara here. Krishna, because there has to be Dvaita Prapancha.
It's Krishna.
Is there an A or not?
No.
No, so it's a typo.
No.
Thanks, yeah. So anyway, it's just wanted to confirm because if there is because of my health issue, I'm unable to see straight sometimes. So here, okay, so there's a typo. I don't find. It will cancel this. So I'll read it again. Yatra tvasya iti satopam Krishna dvaita nishedani. See, even if I read it in the mind, it will be only dvaita nishedani. So I may not be able to see it. I may see only. I'll read it as Advaita Nishedim, but still the mind will think Dvaita Nishedim. So that's the issue. See, that's why my books also, whatever I have written there, I can't proofread it myself because I won't see it. I need another reader. So now I'm using the audio to, edit books so that the machine reads it and then I hear it, right? So anyway, I think Prema, you were saying something? Dvaita Nishedim.
Yeah. Very clear. Dvaita only.
It has to be Dvaita Nishedim. So, protsarayantim samsaram apyashrosham kim shrutim na kim shrutim. Had I not heard this? Dvaita nishedinim samsaram protsarayantim. So that kind of a shruti, have I not heard this? So here, so it's very clear in the Hindi also. So yeah, in the earlier this also he had added ullu here. So you have to add. So he had taken that anvay where andhakar ka उल्लू द्वारा आरोप और मनुष्यादि द्वारा उसका निषेध. So he had taken Manushya does the nisheda, but Ullu's adhyaropa is not known to us. He has used an inference. And here, what here Dvaita Prapancha ka nishedh karne wali. Yeah, thanks for that. I had not seen this. It would have been easier here itself. Yeah. So thereby what? Evam अन्वय would be what? सह यम प्रतिपन्न स्वभावत प्रतिपन्नः यत्र त्वस्येति श्रुतिं साटोपम कृष्णद्वैत निषेधनीं संसारं प्रोत्सारयन्तीं श्रुतिं किम न श्रोषम. Yeah, okay. So yatra tu asya iti Krishna dvaita nishedhanim samsaram protsarayantim api shrutim kim aham na shrosham. Yeah, satopam is left. So sato is asserting it. So you can see yatra tu asya iti satopam. You can keep it like that. And then Krishna dvaita nishedhanim samsaram protsarayantim shrutim api kim aham na shrosham. Aksheparte. Had I not heard this? But here, is there another possibility? I'm looking at it. No, this is okay. This Anvaya is okay. So, prakarshena utsarayanti. Protsarayanti means samsaram. Protsaran is samsaram prakarshena utsarayanti. Yeah, dvaita nishedhi. Thanks. Yeah. So it's dvaita. It's just akara has to be removed. So krishna dvaita nishedhi. Akara is a typo there. That's all. So had I not heard the Shruti which says Yatratvasya Atmeva Bhut, have I not heard it so many times? I heard, but I have been negligent. And then there is an anukrosha of the Vidwan as to the samsara, uprooting samsara. Protsarayanti is what? Shruti. Visheshana for Shruti. So that Shruti, Protsaranti, uprooting what? Samsaram. Samsaram, Protsarayantim, Shrutim. How? Yatratvasya Krishna Dvaita Nishedini. That thereby samsaram protsarayanti. Negating the samsara, uprooting the samsara. That kind of Shruti have I not heard? Earlier, had I not heard? I've always heard it. So this is the case here. We'll look at the last verse in the next part, so that we can do some questions also. Okay, so sorry for the delay and the slow patha. I'm feeling a little, I started off the patha with a little low and went further low. Okay, I'll see you in the next patha. Yat sakshat satchidanandam pratyekadvayam akriyam tannamami nusya yogi gamyam param padam. Namaste, dhanyavadaha.